Oh, welcome to Yankees Coast to Coast. A little difference in the setup today. We do not have Mike Miller. Unfortunately, he was told by his wife that he was not allowed to participate while they're on vacation. Imagine that. Now, I was on a cruise and I was told by my wife that I couldn't participate, but I said, honey, I have a responsibility to our tens of thousands of fans. So anyway, that's just me saying it. But I want to welcome our guests. We've got Frankie. We've got Kramer. We are ready to go today.
Ready to go.
We're going to talk, and we're talking uniforms. But first, before we get into uniform talk, I would love to talk to you guys about what you think of the first week of Yankee spring training. I personally think it's been a good week. Luckily, only modest injuries so far. Nobody is broken. Oh, Giancarlo Stanton is still in the best shape of his life. So I'm very happy to say that I'm happy about their health so far. Seem to be a good mindset. And of course, Soto seems to be really fitting in well. Though I'm not surprised. What do you guys think of our first week? Frank, go for it.
Oh, I got a little nervous when Soto, I think that first pitch he hit.
Oh, when he went over his gloves?
When he went to his knees on that ground ball, I said, "Oh no, you're gonna pull something."
That one, I every time I thought about that too, but I got more nervous when he made a dive in the outfield and rolled over his glove the way Hideki Matsui did it about 10 years ago. 15 years ago. I thought that was it. He's going to be done for the season with a broken. Listen to us. Come on.
And I thought it was going to be like the New York Jets season over in 4 seconds, in 4 plays. But
Exactly. What about you, Crane?
Look, they scored 22 runs in the game. What problems on offense? There's no problems. No, I enjoy watching even the spring training games, and the most important thing is let the team be healthy. Let the team be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, and that's really what matters. We let them play their games. Last year, they came out, they were beaten up. Before they even went in, they were beaten up last year. So Kramer's going to the bathroom. He'll be right back. So yeah, I think what happens for us mostly is in every play you get. Oh, thank you. That's good. Thanks. Everybody is nervous about it. So I'm happy that they seem to be in a good spirit, and there seems to be positive buzz about the team. I know they say the crowds are up at Steinbrenner. People are really excited to see these guys. And they're, what more can we want other than just staying healthy, playing out the string, getting ready. And what else can we want other than that? Maybe a starter. I would love to see that, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to do that. What do you guys think about the Snell talk or non-talk?
Pass.
Well, they keep saying, it's between now the Yankees and the Angels. I can't see the Angels doing it. So,
well, why not? Why not the Angels? Why not the Angels? They lost their best pitcher.
Not going anywhere.
You could see them doing it. I don't see the Yankees doing it because they're not going over. They're not going to spend $68 million for a $30 million pitcher.
Unless they get creative with.
What else?
That's the problem. How do you trade the salary in order so you're not paying 68? How do you have to trade $30 million to pay $30 million? I wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a lot of money, and I think the bigger issue is they'll lose these draft choices. They lose internet. They've been very successful in the international market for a lot of years. Now they spend every dime on a massive pool of players, and then most of them stink and they never turn into anything. But they hope a little spaghetti against the wall, they're going to get a great player. But they've also turned that money into Dominguez and some really good ball players. So you got to think that matters something, and they're going to lose that. What about?
Did you say spaghetti against the wall? Did you just say spaghetti against the wall?
I know we're not allowed to say that on the airways. I don't want to offend.
No, not at all. You just reminded me of one of the funniest scenes in a movie of all time when Walter Matthau throws the spaghetti against the wall, fighting with Jack Lemmon. I think that's fantastic. But okay,
is that grumpy old men?
No, it was the Odd Couple.
It was the Odd Couple.
He
It's one
throws
of
it
the
in the
funniest
aisle.
scenes
I
of all
never
time.
saw that episode. I never saw that movie fully through. I'm a
It's
big fan of the TV show, but I've never
it's
seen the whole movie.
you, if you see that scene, you will laugh. It's a great scene. Yeah, but
I
okay,
love it.
sorry, I digressed. Go.
No, no, it's fine. We're having a good time, man.
Yeah,
Whatever. If we can make you happy, Crane, I feel like we've done something. Done something
I'm
wonderful.
happy.
Good.
I'm happy.
So, but I do not think I don't think that they're going to spend a lot of money there this year on this. They might do the same thing with Montgomery, but it sounds. I keep hearing he doesn't want to play here anymore. Why is he so stupid that he's saying that stuff? Why would anybody say that when you're? Go ahead.
No, the funny thing about Montgomery too, I think he's the safer of the two pitchers. But as I think it through, a long-term deal for any pitchers, even for him. I mean, Montgomery, he's safer, and he did a great job last year. But he's a good investment for 2 or 3 seasons. After that, you know. But if the Yanks had to choose one of them, Montgomery would be the one. But if he doesn't want to come here, then it's play the
Well, fine,
season
but
from
why
April
say
to
it?
July. Yeah, play the
You're
season from April
you're
to July, and then make a trade for a pitcher trade deadline.
I didn't hear that he actually said he didn't want to play with the Yankees again.
I didn't hear that either.
all right. There is another word today came out in the press, and I don't know if it's real or not. That I haven't confirmed it. When you ever confirm these things, but word is that he said it again that he doesn't necessarily want to go home, go back to New York. That he would prefer to go to Texas, and I think that's a stupid thing to say at this point when you don't have a team and you're 2 weeks into spring training, and probably if I'm him, I'm thinking anybody who's going to give me $20 million or $25 million a year to play for a couple of years, give me a couple opt-outs, I'm going to run on it. But listen,
Well, I
if
heard
that's
John Smoltz said I think it was yesterday, that he said every day they sit out now, it's costing them a week.
That's right.
yeah,
I mean, that's.
yeah.
I mean, Blake Snell and Montgomery at best, you're now 20 innings less than what you could have thought they were going to produce if they had
Hmm.
full spring training.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and
let's so let's
that's
let
it.
so let's say Snell is 160 and now he's what 140.
Yeah, I mean, already he's not going
Yeah.
past 5 innings, and on the Yankees it's gonna be even worse because they don't have, he's gonna, as always, the Yankees are gonna burn their bullpen to the ground, so that's just the way it is. So it's not gonna happen. We're not seeing Snell. We probably don't see a starter. I like your idea, Kramer. I think that's really what's gonna happen here. I think
Yeah.
that they want to, I think they really want to see what they have. Look at some of the young guys during spring training. See if they've got somebody in there who's got some possibilities as an alternative number 5 man when somebody goes down. And then they'll trade and they'll give up somebody because you got to think, yeah, they're depleted, but you know what's going to happen? They're going to have five or six guys going to emerge in the minor leagues this year and have good years, and they're suddenly going to become guys that we don't even have on the radar right now. Who knew of Thorpe last year? Did anybody know about Hampton? Any of these guys last year that suddenly became the center of these big deals, or center of their future? I'm thinking a lot's going to happen in the next 4 or 5 months, and yeah, they're going to wait. They're going to wait, and they're going to make a big trade at the All-Star game or at the trade deadline, maybe. Anyway, enough Yankee talk. Can't stand those guys. They suck. No, just kidding. We're talk a little bit about stuff about my love for uniforms. We wanted to kind of talk about this. There's something about baseball uniforms. It's just like no other sport. I don't think about basketball uniforms this way. I'm not really a fan. Football uniforms, same thing. They're great stuff, but there's something about a baseball, partially because I've worn them. I've never worn a football uniform. If I was, I was a tackle dummy, and they put me out there without a helmet on. They'd say, just don't get in the way of the star running back. So that's what football to me was. But maybe because I wear a baseball uniform in my life and I've always enjoyed playing with them, maybe that's it. But what do you guys think? There's something about the continuity of baseball uniforms that's very cool to me. What do you think?
I feel the same thing.
I can't stand
Same
the
way.
swoosh. I hate the swoosh
He's
on
going
every
right into
uniform.
Nike.
The only reason Kramer came on this show tonight Or
That's
he
why
wanted to
I
talk
just want
about
to say
Nike.
that I don't like the swoosh.
I'm gonna cover mine up.
Yeah. And also the advertisements, can't stand it. I'm a traditionalist when it comes to uniforms.
Well, you know, the funny thing that came out on this thing last week with the new uniforms, I had no idea that Nike's not making uniforms. Fanatics makes the uniform for them, almost like a subcontractor. So
Yep.
Yeah.
all that Nike swoosh is an advertisement, just like the Star patch. It's an It could be Coca-Cola there. I mean,
You know, that makes it even
it's an
worse.
advertisement. It's not even like we're making a uniform. Here's, you know, they're not even making it.
That makes it even worse.
It makes
What
it
is
worse.
it
It's
made
more
out
of
of
an
exactly?
advertisement. You know, like when you see it, the Nike on New York, you look at it's a Nike in New York, but you see it on the Mets or the Red Sox. Your first glance is the Nike Red Sox,
That's right.
the Nike Mets. I
Yep.
mean, that's how bold it is. It's sharing, you know, it's sharing billboard space with the, you know, with the logos, you know, with the
Well,
interlocking NY. I mean,
well, when it comes to the swoosh on a uniform, just do it. Doesn't work for me.
no, you know, you have to be a realist of eventually what's going to happen. That maybe okay on the sleeve, but to put it up here, it's just like
Yeah.
too bold. You know, I'll tell a story. I mean, you know, Chris, who at the locker room at the Yankee fantasy camp. I don't want to mention the guy's
Oh,
name.
wonderful guy. One of my favorite people.
And he told me because he had the inside scoop on everything, and he knew my obsession with the uniforms. He came. I think it was 2000 January 2017 or 18. He came to me to tell me the news. And I said, he said, the Yankees are going to go, and the road going to have the matte black helmets, not going to have the shiny helmets on the road. And New York, the white outline that they're getting now was being changed back then. And he said, and Under Armour is making the uniforms. He said the only holdup of the deal right now is they want to put their logo on the sleeve, and the Yankees say absolutely not. So the Yankees were so strong against Under Armour, and Nike came in probably with a lot more money and went to MLB, and it didn't go on the sleeve; it went on the face of the jersey. And so they were that close to being Under Armour jerseys back then.
Well, you know, I know this has nothing to do with it. Under Armour, I just happen to think is a better quality company, but that's beside the point. But the Yankees were right to resist it.
Well,
But
they did it for all the. Look at now. This is an MLB uniform, right? Official.
right. But as
but it's not the ones the players ever wore because not too many fans know it. Not, I mean, the Yankee fans know, but probably across the world, non-Yankee fans have no idea that every team in Major League Baseball, when Majestic had the uniform, had it on the sleeve, except the New York Yankees. They're the only ones.
Yep.
And it was a funny story. I was at one of those Derek Jeter auctions years ago with David and Joe, and they had what's his name? One of the Yankees back then. It was a Yankee jersey. It was signed. So I went to touch the sleeve, and the gentleman said, "You can't touch that." I said, "I'm sorry. I just wanted to see if it was an authentic jersey that the players wore." It is authentic. It's an actual jersey of I forget his Anderson. I forget his name now. And he mentioned his name. I said, "Well, will you turn the sleeve over?" He said, "Sure." He turned over, and Majestic went. I said, "Well, then that's not authentic." He said, "How did you know that?" I said, "I do. You should know that." And he was like shocked. But not too many people knew that the Yankees were the only team that did have it on their jersey.
It's funny, the uniform. What are they saying about the uniforms now? They're saying that they're too small. Their names are too small. I think I saw Jorge Soler the other day with, you can barely see his name. The uniform number is very small, and I don't quite understand why they would do that. That to me diminishes the brand a little bit. I don't know, making it smaller so that you can't see it from afar. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Like that looks terrible.
And look, they moved the logo down. The MLB for some reason they didn't like it there. They moved it down, which had to make this smaller, and this gap is too big, and now the numbers are too low on the uniform. Everything about it is wrong. Does anybody check this before it goes into production?
Well, forget about all the jokes we've made. Actually, that looks terrible.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at it. It looks almost childlike. It looks terrible.
Okay, I mean, it's just it's really upsetting a lot of people. But also, it seems that they're made. They look like they're wrinkled. I don't know. The old thing, they seem to have a little bit more heft to them. And I understand because I remember my first uniform I got was like '77. My brother gave it to me for a Christmas gift. Um, in 1977, Yankees had just won the first series in my lifetime, and I got a uniform, a Yankee uniform that didn't have a number on it. He got it from Jerry Cosby's down on 34th Street. Love him forever for getting me that. In those days, that was the only place to get a uniform. Was
Correct.
Jerry
Yeah.
Cosby's. You didn't go. You couldn't get one on every corner, and
You know,
I got the
I'm
real
sorry.
thing. I got the real thing, and it was beautiful, but it was heavy. It was hefty. It was hefty, and
They
it
make
seemed like if you were sweating on a hot day, it was not going to be comfortable. That polyester, and they have progressively made the uniforms more breathable over the years. Like I'm wearing this one right now. This is a uniform from the team that I play on now, and it is almost. I mean, it's mesh. I mean, I can almost feel. It breathes. It's very comfortable. Almost feels like cotton, but it's not. It's
Well, then
some kind
well, several years ago they came out with the cool base version, and Chris also told me it's
of.
up to the play whether they wanted to wear the cool base or not. Some plays didn't. He said they actually had a problem with Majestic because when they went to the cool base, the pants didn't match the jersey back
It,
then,
Yeah.
and they didn't have a
is
quality control even back then.
was the cool base the authentic or the flex base? Which one was the authentic? Wasn't it flex base, the authentic one?
I thought it was cool base, but
It could be. There is one of each. Like,
yeah.
but I'm glad you mentioned Cosby's because unfortunately the store near the Madison Square Garden is finally gone. And only a few years ago, because when I used to get the uniforms for fantasy, I would have the uniforms because I like the traditional one like Frank does. So I would get the number on it, and they did an unbelievable job putting the Yankee numbers on. You couldn't tell the difference.
Perfect. I mean, that was it. They knew how to
Perfect.
do it.
You couldn't tell the
They
difference.
weren't
Yeah.
they weren't a supplier, but they knew how to do it. Now, as we all learned, here we go. Not everybody cares about that level of detail. At Yankee Fantasy Camp, we used to get sewn on numbers, and now at camp the numbers are an iron-on variety, and I understand in an effort to turn a profit, um, in an effort to save
But
money in an expensive world. I understand, but I'm paying $6,000 to go to fantasy camp, and I kind of want a real thing. And when we go to other team camps, we meet other friends from camps at other tournaments. They always have both uniforms. They have their names sewn on. We'd never have that because the Yankees don't put their names on their uniforms, of course. So it's something, but I'm one of these people like you, Frank, and I think to a lesser extent, Kramer. That you kind of, I look at these things with great detail, and I see what's real and what isn't, and I'm a stickler. I want to see it. I want the real thing, and that's and you can tell it. And when they're messing around with the real thing, even then it's really bad because then there's no standard anymore. The standard has always been those beautiful MLB uniforms with the big numbers sewn on with your name on it if you were on a team that had that. I got mine. Look, I got my name on my back. It's the first time I've ever played in a uniform where I have my name on it. That's a new thing too. Not that anybody cares,
They
but
did.
whatever.
They did that in case you
well,
forget
I'm
your
the
name.
same way. I play in a league that uh, George's here, but I'll show you. And when I first joined the league years ago, they had the stitch numbers and everything. So when I joined it again, it was iron on. That's what they issue now. I said, well, I can't do that. So I went and this must be it. Oh, this is the iron on one.
Kramer, I thought, for
I
a
would
minute, I
wear
thought,
before.
Frank, you were wearing no pants. I thought you were just wearing the uniform and underwear.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I went ahead, had somebody make the jersey for me because I just couldn't stick. I couldn't take the iron on. I said I can't do it.
Got it. Got it. I only have my upper half.
I can tell you, I get teased all the time at the league I'm playing because my uniform was always clean. They said why? I said because my pants get dirty, I throw them out, and get a new pair. But one time I got in the car. I got in the car and I had my jersey hanging up in the back. I pulled it up and it got caught and the jersey went on the ground. It got a little dirty. I said, oh God, I'm going like this. And they said, what's the matter? I said, going to duck. I said, I got a little dirt on it. They said, you got dirt. I said, well, what happened? I said I had it on the hanger, and somebody goes, stop. You hang up your jersey in your car? I said, what do you do? He said, we throw it in the back of the car and put it on when we get here. I said, no. Mine's hung up.
You know, you are another level. I mean, I don't do that, but I love that you do that, Frank. I like that it matters to how you look. I mean, I know you would come to camp and you had stirrup socks, man. I mean, that was the best. Your stirrups were fantastic. There was
Well,
nothing
and
like.
I found out in the beginning they couldn't get my sanitaries clean enough. Jackie does it when I bring them home, but they could. So I had to bring a pair for every day. So then I take them home and Jackie would wash them. But
That's the ticket. I love it. So,
insane.
all right, listen, I love this stuff. I could talk
Well,
to you.
I tell my guy, I tell the guys on the team, I said, I know a lot of you guys are not better than me, but as good as you are, you have no control when you get up at that plate. One thing you have to have control is how you look standing in that plate. I said, that's why I take pride.
You could stink. You could be the worst player. You could be what's called a no tool. We got the 5-tool player and we got the no tool player, right?
Yeah.
The no tool. It doesn't matter. If you look good, that's what matters.
That's what matters.
you look good. That's important. Some guys look great in the uniform. And have you ever had a guy on your team that looks great in the uniform and he stinks? I mean, he comes out and he's got the whole thing. I had a guy on my team who looked just like Derek Jeter. he was Derek. It looked just like him. 6'2", 220 pounds, built well, just real clean, looked perfect in the uniform. Everything was right. Could not hit. Nothing worked. He sucked, but he looked the part, That's what mattered. And that's all he cared about. He just
I tell you another story.
You get out there.
What?
It was very funny.
Was that the guy at fantasy camp?
There was a guy at fantasy camp who and he wasn't that good either.
He could hit a little bit though.
No, he could hit a little bit. The guy looked just like Derek.
He had Jeter down pat. But one of the games we played, a team that only had 8 players, so somebody had to volunteer to play right field, on our team. Well, so they had 3 outfielders, right? So it was like 3rd or 4th inning, and I said, I'll go out to right field. Here on my uniform, the way it looks. And the guy looks at me and said, oh, you look like a player. You want to take center? I said, I'll stay right here where I'm at. I said, I might look like a player, but I'm not.
There it is. And it's important to qualify, in those things, because they will think that you can play, and you don't want to overstep, going as Tenyon Sturts over your skis. You don't want to go there. But all right, so what I want to do is I want to play something. We're going to go into some more fantastic content that we put together for you, for our many thousands of loyal fans out there. But we've got some friends of the show that we want to listen to, so I'm going to listen over, see what our buddy Dr. Joe Asti has to say.
Well, Joe's here. Oh, good.
On the best uniforms are probably the classical ones. Boston Red Sox, or Yankees, St. Louis Cardinals, and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Also, the best uniforms going back is probably the vests on the Cincinnati Reds. And also the hats from the old-time Pittsburgh Pirates, the stovepipe hats I really like quite a bit.
That was great. Well, thank you, Mr. Asti, Dr. Asti. Don't want to diminish in any way. A man of respect. I agree completely with all of your, all of the choices. I do like the Cincinnati Reds, especially the old ones, that the originals with the sleeveless shirts. I thought that was a great look. So yeah, and the Pirates. Is that Jerry Royce? Oh my God. That's amazing, and I love that look. And my wife likes that look. Joanne brings that up all the time. How she likes the old piping on the hats. Remember when they used to put, stars or something in there? Yeah, and I thought that was great too. But
Cincinnati had a slugger that liked those sleeveless uniforms. Ted Kluszewski, remember?
Yeah.
So
Well, he was both. Yeah, because he showed off his guns, right?
Yeah,
he showed off his gun. They love those guys. And guys still like those uniforms. A lot of the guys like the way they look. But So I totally agree with Joe about his choices. They were all four on my list as
That's
well.
the top
I had
four.
the top four.
I
I'm
know
with
this
you.
might not be everybody's favorite thing, but on the St. Louis Cardinals, I could do it to one of the Cardinals missing on the bat. I don't need the Cardinal on both bats, but I mean, two Cardinals on one bat.
Interesting. Two Cardinals, one bat. I like it. I like it. Kramer, what about you? What would you say would be? Give us one of your favorites right now.
How about Bill Veck's Chicago White Sox uniforms with the shorts?
Those are your
true.
favorites?
No,
Favorite.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right.
Uh,
Since you asked, I
my,
have them right here. Here,
wha-
here it is. It's
my,
you.
my favorite is the Yankee swooshless uniform.
There. That's our buddy Goose.
There you go.
Early in his career.
Yeah.
And that is one ugly uniform. And I can't imagine. Look at whoever that is at third. Probably was someone like Eric Soderholm, maybe playing third base. Look how uncomfortable that had to be. If you had to go down to get a ball on your knees, you were gonna tear yourself to bits. It can't be very comfortable. So anyway, interesting.
Soderholm played for the Yankees for a couple of years.
I remember Eric Soderholm played a
Yeah.
little shortstop for them, didn't they? I think he was more of a. I thought he was more of a corner guy, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. What about you? Let's ask. So Kramer, that's your favorite or your least favorite?
No, I was just
What's your favorite?
I like the Yankee
Give us a
uniform
favorite.
because
A favorite.
I,
Okay.
I like the Yankee uniform because it's simple. Pinstripes, the NY, and that's it. So
All
I
right.
do like those.
All right. Well, we'll give
It,
her others later. Let's just go. We'll go one at a time.
one
I'd
at a
like to
time.
hear what everyone thinks. What do you think right now? If you had to say, you don't have to have your favorite right now, but what about you, Frank?
I think it's a tie between the Dodgers and the Yankees. I think the Dodgers is a classy uniform as well.
Funny that you say that because that's exactly what I put down as my number three.
Yeah.
I love this, and I'll tell you, I like a variation. I like their road Los Angeles Dodgers. I think
Yes.
that looks cool. I don't like the Dodgers as much. I like that they put when they went to the Los Angeles there. Very, very nice. Great look.
And then the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox have a good uniform.
And then the Red Sox. Yeah, I would
The
agree.
funny thing, everybody says, I can't wait, to put on the pinstripes. There are 9 teams that have pinstripes, but it's only the Yankees that count. I think
Yeah.
they should be. I think the
There
Twins
it is.
I think the Twins don't have it anymore. It would have been 10.
Nope.
But almost a third of the teams have a variation of pinstripes.
That's right. The worst. What were the worst pinstripes? I thought the Minnesota Twins with the ridiculous brand. It just looked terrible.
Yeah.
There's something about road grays with pinstripes. It just don't work. I'm sorry. That's just
The
my
Diamondbacks have pinstripes. I think pretty much every Diamondback uniform is ugly.
Yeah, they've never come out with.
Not
They had one that had like sort of snake skin that kind of looked
yeah.
like snake skin. That went down like a fart in the synagogue. Didn't like that at all. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, we have somebody else here. We have Steve, Mr. Friend of the show, Steve Schneider, texted in. He's doing PT right now. So he said the worst. He said Yanks are the best. The worst are the Mets, but the Mets black. He doesn't. I always thought the Mets pinstripes are great. Like the Mets colors are horrific. That orange Michigas, but look like clowns. But I thought the Mets black were just terrible. They look. Remember when they had those? They had the all white pants without the pins, and the black shirt. Not a good look. Not a good look. So that's our friend of the show. Thank you, Steve, for participating. We appreciate you more than you know. All right. And how about a worst? Let's ask about what do you think about a worst case, Frank? What do you think?
Oh, Frank, go ahead.
You asking me?
Yeah.
There's a few. I mean, I'll show you a few. I like the Baltimore Orioles, but when it comes to this version of it, I think in the 70s, too much orange.
Oh,
Way
no.
too much orange.
No, doesn't work.
That is like, are you kidding me? And then the Reds were the same way. I mean, the Phillies. I mean, they had too much red.
Oh boy,
red's my favorite color, but I think I have to. What else?
entirely too much red. And then the old Seattle Pilots.
Yeah,
wow, that's a real winner.
Our buddy Bud Sleesback, Bud Sealick,
Well, and their team just lasted so long. Oh, wait a minute, go back slowly. So you got
Look at the
Giant
Royals.
Dan wearing those Royals from 1998, right? And then that's a bad look. The Rays.
I've got another one that's worse than that.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yep. Remember the
Big
San
one.
Diego Padres yellow uniforms?
They had so many bad uniforms, the Padres.
Those were disastrous. The mustard yellow color.
All right, since you brought it up.
Well, maybe it's brown with mustard yellow.
Let's see if I have any more.
Disastrous.
Oh no,
Mustard yellow.
Yeah.
That is just a terrible uniform. And
Is that
it
mustard
looks
yellow or is that mustard or canary? What do you think?
It's canary. But
Canary.
the worst is that they're ugly if you were wearing them at night as pajamas. They're just too ugly for a grown man.
Those
There's just
Padre
no
uniforms
way.
were-
Oh, you know what I don't like? I don't dislike those. I think the old Spos have a bad rap. I thought the hat was too big. They probably would have been better about
the
it
hat was
small.
the hat.
But
I
I
think
think
the
the
hat of the
logo is always
Marlins a few
over the
years
top.
ago was that
You-
the Marlins a few years ago. That M on the Marlins. Oh,
You know what?
the
Oh,
Astros.
that that's true.
There and oh boy, you and I are incredible. Everything that you don't like, I don't like. It's amazing. I couldn't stand the Reds also. The Red Indians, all red uniforms.
Oh God, and Boog with the the
Boog at the end of
jersey,
his
no
career,
belt.
not good with a belt, with the gut from eating too many ribs.
They look like big fat softball players.
Yeah, there it is. Go ahead,
Well,
Kramer. You're up. Tell us more
Kramer,
about what you find
I can
horrifying.
tell you about one or two that I like rather than dislike. Is that all right? Um, I like the Chicago Cubs uniforms because they had that little cubby on the uniform. I think it was on the sleeve, so I sort of like that. Chicago Cubs. That's probably
Okay.
from collecting. That's probably from collecting baseball cards because Jose Cardinal had a big afro and I had a baseball card and he was wearing a Cubs uniform. So,
I love
and you know what uniform I also like? Um, the uniform itself is not really special, but there's something on it that makes it special. The Detroit Tiger home uniform with the English D. That's sort of
it.
cool.
Look, it's a clean look. I like
That's
it. Like that wouldn't work with pinstripes. It would
yeah,
be too much. It's perfect the way it is without. I agree.
yeah.
All right, so we've got some people here who are reaching out, trying to get in there. So let's see what we can do. We got Mike Miller, and he did two. So I'm not sure if this is his second or his first. So let's gonna see what happens here if we just put it.
Easily the classiest and best uniform. New York Yankees pinstripes. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Best uniforms in baseball history.
Wow.
Worst uniforms ever were those Houston Astros jerseys in the 80s. Ugh, softball uniforms. Even the White Sox with their shorts and their collared shirts were better, but they were crappy uniforms too.
Oh, I think they were better.
Maybe I'll be listening to my own voice on the show. I don't know.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mike. Mike had another one here.
Hey, I'd also like to see them get rid of these stupid players' jerseys. It's just stupid. You know, fake names on the back. It's just ridiculous. Just let them play. Come on, man. Don't need to see any fake jerseys. Just wear the jerseys for your team.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, and this is where I never thought I would be that guy on the yelling at kids on the lawn. I never thought I would. I am the kid. I am the guy yelling at the kids to get off the lawn. I just don't like that old look. That new look. I like old school stuff. I don't like these opening up of all the rules. I don't like the fact that you got your little sticker on your hat, Frank. I'm a little surprised that you have a sticker
Oh,
on your Yankee cap.
He's got the sticker
You
over
know,
here. Oh,
I,
Frank, man, I'm
I'm a little surprised.
disappointed.
Oh, it's gone.
I grabbed one of the new hats. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Is that
Frank,
one that you stole from Fantasy Camp? Oh, we're not supposed to say that. Oh, there we go. But
I can give you an example of another uniform that was pretty ugly too. Remember one of the first Seattle Mariner uniforms? Those were not good either. I think it was a golden color, but it was the way they spelled Mariners.
all
It's
right,
not pleasing to the eye.
it's a
Now,
really good
nobody's
point.
commented. Nobody's Oh yeah, that's a good one.
This is the turning forward the clock, Michigas.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
I just don't understand what they were thinking here. So that's horrible. I love the bell bottom show. Look at the bell bottom pants. Like, okay, that was an idea that the Mariners probably they didn't have. So thank you for that.
And here's the pirate version of it.
Hmm?
This is the
There's
pirate
a
version.
mess in the corner. My wife's gonna yell at me. She's like, "You know, you're showing off the apartment. Looks like a dump." So, the Pirates. That's the Pirates' turn. Come on, really? It's just not necessary. Look at you. Look at you. Got all these beautiful uniforms on the walls. The
Oh,
classics. And then they do this stuff in order to make more money. It's clearly marketing, and
The,
obviously the players
you,
could
you, you
read
know
on
which
there. Do that.
you know you know which team always had pretty nice uniforms? Oh, Kansas City Royals. Their
A good
uniforms were
look.
always pretty cool because they
Royal
had the
blue.
case nice. Yeah, the
I like
powder
them. They have
blue
a
is
couple of crazy versions. They've had a couple of nutty versions. Like the ones I don't get are uh the blue, like the white tops and the blue pants. I've seen that when they mess with that. That's all bad. you gotta have dark top. Like, look at me. I'm freaking Vidal Sassoon here.
and
Or
and
Sasson pants, whatever. I don't mean to be a fashion plate. I am not one.
and this might be me because I dislike the color yellow, but the Oakland A's yellow jerseys, I don't like them.
well, that's
I
what I
don't.
was going to ask. Nobody's commented good or bad on the A's.
I mean, the
So
A's uniforms themselves aren't terrible, but just that color, I didn't like that color.
I like the A's uniforms, both, and being a traditionalist, and I was a kid when they came out, when they first came out with the gold and the you know green and what do you call it, wedding cake white. I liked it. I mean, it's different.
I actually like the Brewers uniforms of the late
Yeah.
'70s and the '80s when they had Harvey Keene's
What did
Harvey's
Charlie
wallbangers.
O'Philly said? There was like four colors of
I
the
actually,
that
I
made
actually,
up
you didn't
four
like
colors that
those?
made up the A's. He said it was I think dollar green, 14 karat gold, wedding cake white, and Vita blue.
Yeah, I didn't like the gold ones. I didn't like the gold one. The other ones, I did. It was just the color, but I like the Milwaukee Brewer uniforms of the '70s and '80s. With Gorman Thomas and Ben Ogilvy and Harvey's wallbangers and Rick Manning.
I
Who
don't
else was
know.
on?
I thought the glove. I like the old M better. I didn't like the glove with the M.
I love the cap. Yeah, the cap at the end was.
I did. That wasn't for me. But so we've got some texts from fans, from friends of the show. Our dear friend Tony from the Highlanders. Um, the White Sox had a fairly hideous uniform in the '70s and '80s. Looked like a softball shirt. That seems to be the universal opinion. Um, Chris Sweeney, our shortstop from the Highlanders. He goes, I love wearing shorts. I would do it at fantasy camp if I could. Um, just didn't like the collared shirt. The collars, that looked terrible. I didn't get it. Didn't make sense. Steve, hey, our friend Steve Carroll was on the show last week. Thank you again, Steve, for participating. The brown and gold of the Pirates, very, very classy, and the different shaped hat. That's again universal things. It seems that everyone likes certain things. I mean, there's certain looks that people seem to really like. I'm gonna show one of my all-time favorites that isn't on this list. Um, this is my number 4. I like the Cardinals. I know you don't like the double bird, but I really like this version. I like the St. Louis, the city version. I guess they're calling this. And the road blue looks really cool. And that's, I guess, Goldschmidt. Is that Paul Goldschmidt? Wearing the St. Louis. That's rare. They don't wear that very often. Only a couple, probably maybe a handful of weekends a year they play that. They wear that. And then on the
I
road,
like.
too. So
Yeah,
I
I
like
like
it,
that.
too. I like that. I get you. Thank you. Thank you, Kramer. I agree. I'm a man of refined taste.
Okay.
So that's pretty much all we've got. We're out of ideas. All right. So anyone else? Let's see. Let's talk about some of
Well,
the.
we're talking about uniforms. How they wear the uniforms. I mean, you know how I feel about that. I mean, you don't have to wear stirrups, but what I don't understand is you wear the pants all the way down, and then I mean and they
I
wear the
mean,
pants
look at
down
that.
almost like no, the people like I don't know if Glaber does it. Some of the players, it's almost like a bell bottom where they take the back of the pants and almost hook it under their cleat.
It looks
How
terrible.
can that be an advantage? How can that be an advantage in running?
Actually, I was just gonna say, if it's that long, it would be a disadvantage. You would trip over it.
Okay, name one sport that speed and movement is involved, and they wear pants.
They don't.
No other sport.
Yeah.
Football, basketball, no other sport wears
Cricket. I think
pants.
cricket wears pants. I think they do in cricket and
Okay.
yachting. I think yachting they do as well.
Oh, hell
So,
with that. But
yeah.
but how can you, if you can restrict your movement just a microsecond, why would you do it? You're definitely going to run fast. I mean, especially you're taking the pants and putting it underneath your cleat. I mean, it's never happened, but you know, if it takes 16 angles and 4 to 5 minutes to see if somebody's safe or out, if you're a little that much faster by wearing your pants up, might have been closer.
It also looks terrible. I mean, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I
It
know,
doesn't
it's
look
terrible.
good. It doesn't look good. I think
I
that
mean,
they.
it's just like what I was ordering. I was ordering pants from my other team, and they all had Rawlings. We had Rawlings, and they sent me the wrong pair, and I had to call Rawlings. I said, "You didn't send me the traditional fit." He said, "You have the number 150." I said, "I have it. I'm telling you, they're baggy." He said, "Right." He said, "We have had that complaint." He said, "Keep them. We're going to send you some more." I said, "I said, you're changing the numbers. You change." He said, "We'll change a lot." He said, "We actually have the traditional fit, a relaxed fit, a baggy fit, and he said another one back then called the Manny fit, the Manny Ramirez fit, which was," he said, "we considered they were pajamas." I mean,
What about
him and CC couldn't. I mean, really. I mean,
not that I would qualify, but what about slim fit? Nothing like that.
no. Well, the traditional fit was slim fit.
Oh, it was okay.
Yeah, which is hard to buy now. It's not easy to get. You know, they won't come in relaxed fit.
Frank, I just knew you were the right guy for this show. I am so glad that we brought you on because you've taken the word aficionado to a whole nother level in the uniform. Jean, as my wife
Well,
said.
Frank, the last
Um,
few years I've been wearing the shorter pants with the socks up. So you're proud of me, right, Frank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is a great look. I've done the I like, you know, I gotta tell you, I do like wearing the pants high. Oh, this thing I don't like. Above the knee? What the hell is that?
Yeah, that's
I
too
know.
high.
Have you seen that? The above the knee? I'm gonna pull that up here.
Yeah,
Tell me what is going on with
that's
the
too high.
above the knee. You know, talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves.
I just never understood running in pants, but
I
that's
don't have
just
any stirrups though, Frank. So I just wear the short pants with the socks
that's
up.
okay. I'm not criticizing. I don't understand. I don't understand the pant wearing it long, but if you do, it's fine. But to cuff it underneath your cleat, it
Well, yeah,
looks like
that's
you're restricting yourself. You can't tell me you're not.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
restricting your
yeah.
movement and your speed.
If you're
All
going
right,
to
what
wear
is what is
long, you just have to make sure it's the right length. It can't cover your cleat. It's got to
Oh
what
be
do you
yeah,
the.
think of this? What do you
Yeah,
think of this look?
that's too
that's
high
that's
to
too
me,
much.
at least for me.
They are above the knee.
Above the knee. Yeah.
I think you got the
That's
wrong
weird.
size.
And you got the
Yeah.
wrong side. That's funny, Frank. No, I think that they like it. I guess it's comfortable. Listen, I've worn mine from my knee right to the knee, and I feel like it gives me a little extra boost on the bases. You know, boost that I need at my advanced age. Um, so yeah, it's nice. But the idea that it's also weight. I mean, it really does weigh a lot. So if you're old and fat and slow like me, you know, you need all the gusto you can get, and a little bit of little lead. Listen, they make planes a certain way and cars a certain way. You know, lighter and faster is better. You know, so why not? But no, not today. They love but that's over the top, I think. Um, and I am troubled by it. So
Well,
another look that I really like, um, that I really like, is this.
The Giants.
The Giants originally, the San Francisco Giants. I don't know if the New York Giants also wore them, but this is that sort of cream color
Yeah.
that is just so great now. You don't see it often. I don't know many teams that do it still.
But the cream, this the black and that's a great look. So this is a shout out to our buddies over at
You,
Highlights Below Left. We
you,
love those guys, and they're big Giants fans. So we want to tell you we appreciate this form a great deal.
what's nice about that is to have the orange is used the right way. The orange is a complementary color; it doesn't overpower it. And the
You mean like
current uniforms,
the clown orange that the Mets wear?
well, but the Giants did it the right way. I mean, they put orange as a complement to the white, to the cream, and to the black. And the current Giant uniform, at least one of them, is actually not that dissimilar to the one you just showed.
Mm-hmm.
Current uniform has Giants across, and yes, that's nice.
And is there anyone that we haven't shared of yours that you either like or dislike? Because I have a couple of mine. So anybody?
I like the Cincinnati Reds uniforms.
We talked
I
about
like
that a little bit.
All three of them. I like the
some
white.
of them. I mean, there's so many versions of them, but
There's three. I like the white, red, and the black. I like all three of them because they kept the design, like the Reds logo, whatever. They kept it very simple. So I sort of like that. Nice.
what do you think of the Guardians uniform?
I like the lettering. I like the
It's all
lettering of
right.
Guardians. I don't like the
Yeah.
name Guardians. I feel bad for every Indian fan in the world that they had to literally alter it. How do you like to someone tell us, well, the Yankees name is, we don't really want to, we think the Yankee name is disparaging to all those Southerners who didn't appreciate the Yankees of the North during this. I mean, come on. I'd lose my mind if somebody took my team away.
Yeah.
I understand this,
Frank, the answer is simple. When I get hungry, I'll go to a Guardian restaurant. Yep. Shut me up. Go ahead. Well, I can use the term properly. I do. I love Indian food, so I was just making a play on the words.
Look at this.
There
Two
you
of
go.
them.
He's
Two
better.
of them.
He's better looking than I am.
Is there anything worse than two? You have yours, right, Frank?
You look so much younger now. Look at him.
Yeah, I know. It's better. It's better looking than me.
It's Kramer with Botox.
Yeah.
Good old Crane. Okay, so let's go over a couple of my others. Sorry, number one, big surprise: the New York Yankees. Jeter looked excellent, wore as well. But then there's Mickey, and Mickey wearing the old gray. And I'm happy we've talked about this on previous episodes. Yanks are going to this look again. So while it won't be the wool, or what was it, flannel of the 60s era, it'll definitely be the old New York without the piping. Because look, Frank, show us yours side by side. Stand up a little bit.
Yep.
You see? That's the current, or was the current, and that's the original going back to, which I think is a good move.
Was the supplier of the flannel Mitchell and Ness? Was that the company that supplied those?
I don't know. Is that a joke that I missed?
What's that?
No. Okay, I'm just wondering.
Prior to Majestic, who was it? Oh God, I can't think. I know, but I can't think of it.
And this hasn't come up yet as the worst. This was just a terrible idea. I mean,
but they only wear that once a year.
No, they wear it a lot. They wear them a lot.
Do they?
Yeah, they probably wear them in every series. And
I thought it was because of the Boston Marathon they wore those.
They do, but that's just they wear it that day. But that's about the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Colors are wrong. The yellow is horrifying. The light blue. I mean, it looks like somebody had lost their mind in the making.
We have tablecloths nicer than that.
Yeah, that's right. And then this was LSD introduced. Somebody was definitely tripping.
Pullover jersey.
I can still remember J.R. Richard pitching in that jersey.
And aside from it being CC with his cap to the side, he didn't do it with the Yankees out of respect. Yeah, I think he respected the Yankee brand. I don't think he ever had his hat off to the side like he did there. But that red, my God, that is butt ugly. And then this is
Michael K said in the beginning, CC stands for crooked cap. So
yeah. Let me tell you, CC is a rare example of a long-term deal that worked.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, great stuff. So, anything else we want to talk about on uniforms? We've run out of ideas here. We've talked about everything in the baseball in the baseball uniform category. One thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look at something else. We didn't
Okay,
talk
a
about
little minor thing,
hats.
Adam, about the
Yeah.
minor thing about you. Do you like when they wear the patent leather belts?
Well, I don't really notice that because it's I don't
I
really
kind of
notice
like
it.
it, to be
That's
honest
maybe
with
detail that
you.
only you would notice, Frank. So I'll leave that to you. But I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
All right, so this is some of the worst baseball caps ever conceived. Here's one that probably. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. My apologies. No fan. But that's just a bad baseball cap. But no, there are some really bad MLB baseball caps out there. The Marlins were bad. There's no question. The, the Giants had a white one once that looked pretty horrible.
Look at
And
look at how traditional the Yankee cap is. The blue
yeah,
and just the white NY. Look at that. And I won't wear any other color. This is it.
here's one
Yeah.
that you probably the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
With their pilots, with the pilot wings. I'm sorry, not the Mariners. This was the Seattle Pilots
That's the
with
pilot.
their pilot wings. That the Mariners do bring back every now and again in a throwback, which I think is always pleasant. Let's just see anything else that interests us. Some really bad looks from the past. Oh, here's one that I really want to bring up because it's so ludicrous. But you remember when when
Oh
pitchers
yeah,
were having
yeah,
where we were worried about head injuries and they were
yeah,
wearing these things.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh boy, that's an ugly look.
That that's like Kazoo from the Flintstones.
That's Mr. Yeah, the Great Gazoo.
Yeah.
For sure. But that's a really bad look. Anyway, that's about all I got. So anyway, Frank, you coming back to enjoy with us? We want to close, get off a little bit early. I gotta go. I was gonna go to baseball practice, but I have to work tonight, so I'm gonna have to pass. But anyway, Kramer. Oh, Frank's back. Frank, we were showing really ugly uniforms. This is one I want. Caps. Remember this when they had to wear where the players were worried about getting hit in the melon, and they wore big caps with the weighted helmet underneath it. Remember that? It didn't last long.
God.
No.
It's horrible. But players, and this is an interesting point. The any pitcher who had been hurt by a line drive felt the need to wear that, and in some cases they were being required to wear them. And but they were so unhappy with them that they made them. They just thought they looked ludicrous, so they stopped wearing them.
That particular pitcher swore by the
It was
hat.
just
He
like
wore
who
he
was
wore it
this?
when we pitched for
The
the
Yankee
Mets.
catcher who got hurt
Yeah.
and he had to wear the oversized helmet. Was it Savelli? He wear that
Yeah,
minor league helmet, and that's
Yeah.
when
that's right.
that's when the major leagues were going to go to the minor league 100-mile-an-hour helmet,
Yeah.
which was kind of bulbous, and the players were really want to go for it. That's when they came out with the ones that came out, the composite ones now, I guess, that could take 100 mile an hour with their $500, and
They're $500. They're hard to buy. You can't. They're not even available. They're very tough to buy. But like I have a helmet from like that was standard issue, and it's nothing like the new ones. New ones you can really tell the difference. But it's interesting to wonder that you bring that up. I'm wondering if they're going to force the players ever to go to the double ear flap. It doesn't
they were
look as
pushing
nice.
for that too. Yeah.
Well,
And I
that
wouldn't be
that
surprised. They do it in the minors now, all the way through all three levels. Now they have to wear the double. All the levels have to wear the double ear flap, and that's smart. I think that's good. And then the players come up, and I've seen players who wear them because they're used to them from minors, and they continue to wear them going into
A couple of
the mill.
guys will wear it in major leagues.
But Willie McGee did it for his whole career.
Well, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Some of them like him. I personally don't like it. I like the single because I can hear. I mean, I feel like and I do look like because I'm really
you
stupid.
feel like you're wearing a football helmet. I feel like I'm getting crushed.
Exactly, but I'm really stupid, and when I'm running, I get lost. Sometimes I turn and go in the wrong direction, so I got to hear it. I got my senses working 100%, or I'm going to do something dumb on the mount on the. That's it. Oh, that's an original. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
That picture
That's great.
that picture that you showed, he swore by that hat though, and
Oh, this is a lefty hat.
very few pitchers wear it, but he was the only one that wore it consistently. When he was traded to the Mets, he wore it for the Mets also.
Because he's not a dummy. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's a very smart thing to do. You
He-
got to think these guys are hitting the ball faster now than ever. You're 60 feet 6 inches away. If you don't have yourself,
They're closer
yeah,
when they get off that mound. They're closer than that.
he wore it with the
right.
Marlins and the Padres. He wore it for all three of those teams. So
Yeah. So anyway, I think it's we're at the end of our evening. We had a great. I thought this was a lot of fun. I know I enjoy talking about this part of the game because it's something. There's something about the look again that's important, and the uniforms are unique. I'm amazed that other sports don't seem to build. They build it around marketing. I get that, but there isn't really a culture around uniforms historically,
But
like connected to the past.
you know one thing about football though. Now football being pretty much a barbaric sport, whether you like it or not, I enjoy watching the game. But their uniforms and their helmets are clean and shiny every week. Where you get in baseball, especially the days of Posada or Ortiz,
Oh
pine
my
tar.
God, covered,
Yeah,
covered with
they
shit.
wouldn't allow that. Football doesn't even allow that, but Major League Baseball allows. I think they're getting a little stricter because you don't see it as much. You see the helmets shinier now. They give a bit a classier image than football does. I mean, trying to match football, which gives a you look at the some of those uniforms, like Dallas Cowboys. They're clean. I mean, everything. Those helmets aren't banged up like they were in the '60s and '70s.
Yeah,
They give a good. They good a good for contact sport. They look pretty
and that's
neat.
obviously they hire somebody to make sure that. I mean, they're falling in they're falling in the grass. We lost Kramer. They're falling in the grass. Obviously,
Yeah.
they're going to be covered with crap. So they got somebody on that every day.
Yeah.
The good news, they've got 7 days to fix it.
A lot of it's
So that
turf
does
too.
give them
So
time to do it. But with baseball, you're right. They play every day. There's a dirty. There's a I love it. You'll see them tear their pants, and then they'll be back in a few minutes with a new uniform pants on. They're old. They rarely look bad. I like the dirty look. I like when they're covered in diving to second base or whatever. That's a good look. Baseball. Baseball's special. Come on, let's call it like it is. It's a reason why we focus on that sport. It's a unique experience. And we want to say thank you to Kramer. Kramer, it was great. Obviously, you're contributing as much as you always do. Thank you.
thank
And there he is. We lost you, Kramer. Are you
you.
coming back?
I'm here.
Your face is off. Did you sneeze again and blow your
No,
nose? Did that happen?
I can see him.
I'm here.
I don't. I lost you, Kramer. Yeah, I don't have a Kramer.
I'm
He's here.
I've got a Frank, but I don't have a Kramer. Whatever. So
I'm here.
thank you for everybody to participate. All of our
Thank you,
calls.
Adam.
Mr. Miller. It was great to Joe Osti and the people who wrote in. Thank you. And we'll be back next week with another episode of Yankees Coast to Coast.
Coast to coast.
So long.
Good night, guys.